2 and 0. Yes, otherwise it would have won the game. Very intelligent. Now it is my turn. If I give 0 throw second column, I am the winner. Yeah. So guys, you just saw that the tic-tac-toe game is in a working condition now. Let's try to look at this repetitive code. I see the same code in two places. What shall we do? Let's try to extract this out into a method. So you can do this using check and make valid move. Hi friends, good afternoon. So today let's consider a small gaming project in case of Ruby. In the last class we have discussed regarding the object-oriented programming, how to make use of object-oriented programming for inheritance polymorphism. So in this class let us try to make a small tic-tac-toe game, and I'm sure you guys are aware of the tic-tac-toe game. So basically there will be two players. So whoever wins horizontally or vertically or diagonally, that person will be considered as the winner. In case if so we are considering a game wherein it is of 3 cross 3, so there will be 9 cells. In case if all the 9 cells are occupied and no one has won that game, that means it's a draw. And you can take the input either via command line, or you can hard code the input. In this for our this class, let's consider taking the input from the command line. And also we can provide two modes. One is user versus user, or the other mode is user versus computer. Now let's start writing the code. To begin with, let's try to add the required classes. So we might require a tic-tac-toe game class, and we also require a game manager. So basically game class takes care of, okay, let's start the game, and it will have a play method. Let's have a play method there. And tic-tac-toe game basically has a board, and it will have a board, and it has a display board function. It will display the cells of the board, how it will look like, so that it's easy for us to track. We can also check for whether the game is over, and whether it's a draw, and we can have a winner which will display who the winner is. Okay, now to check for winning combinations, one is row wise, column wise winner check, row wise winner check. What is the other one? It's a diagonal wise winner check. Now let's have for this tic-tac-toe so basically it will have a current player. So current player, let's consider a case where U denotes first user and V denotes the second user. It can be anything. Just for simplicity, I'm keeping it as U and V. It can be user 1, user 2, or it can be A, B, anything, whatever is comfortable for you. What else we need in this? We have a board, we have display board, we have whether game is over or not. We'll also have a winner, who the winner is, if it's a winning condition. What are the winning combinations that we need to check? Row wise we need to check, column wise we need to check, and diagonal wise we need to check. And basically this tic-tac-toe will have a constructor. So constructor will have, one is assign the board, and the board will be assigned with a 3 cross 3 array, and you will assign a current player. Okay, now after you make a move, first is we should make a move. Second is after you make a move, you need to change the current player. So we can have a shift player function and make a move function, right? So when you make a move, what will happen? One is you will assign the board its row and column with the current player, and you will shift the player. Either you can write it within, or you can write it as a separate function, in whatever is comfortable. Now before making a move, you should check whether it's a valid move or not. What are the conditions? One is there are 3 rows and 3 columns, so the input which user enters should be within the range, correct? And also, if it's already entered, you should not be editing that cell once again, right? So valid move check for the range for row and column, and check if it is not already occupied cell, right? So valid move takes these two, and make a move takes row and column, right? So whenever you are asked for a problem, I think it is always best to write a pseudo code. Think about the requirements, and then write it down so that it's easy for you to later start writing the code. So before implementing anything, start designing it. By design, you mean you should just assess the problem. Think about its corner conditions, corner cases, what are the actual attributes that might be required, what are the objects that you might require. In this case, you might require a game class, and you might require a tic-tac-toe class, and the other attributes are the current player, a board, and you need certain model methods, which is to check if the game is over or not, to check if the game is a draw. If it's a winner scenario, who is the winner? You might also need to check for the winning combinations. Then you might have to make a move and shift the player. You might have to check whether it's a valid move or not before making a move, right? And until the game is over, you should keep doing this, right? So what you can do is let's start writing the code. Before starting to write, let's once again assess, have we missed out anything in this? Okay, play. What else is needed for this game class? No, nothing else is needed, right? Okay, let's start writing the code. So what we discussed is we might require a tic-tac-toe class. Okay, in case of game, you might require a mode to assess whether it's a user versus user or user versus computer, right? So, and based on that, accordingly your game will run, right? Okay, what else is required? I think only these two. Now let's start writing the code. So in initialize for the game, you don't require anything. So what you need is a board. So we might require a 2-dimensional array. So to begin with, let's initialize everything with a nil, and you require a current player. Let's assign u for that. Now what else is required? Make a move, row, column. Assuming the validity check is outside of this function, you are just going to assign current player to this. Valid move check for. So what are the conditions for checking if the move which you are going to make is a valid move? Okay, the row is between 2, and column should also be between 0 and 2, right? Okay, I missed out 0 here. You need a start and end, right, for a between range check. And board should not already be occupied. So you should check board should be, the corresponding row column should be nil. Only if this is true, you will return true. Now shift player. So in case of shift player, assuming, so if the current player is u, you make it a v. If otherwise, you make it a u. Now draw. So what are the conditions for checking if it's a draw, right? So the board, one is so in this 3x3 array, basically it is nothing but 9 cells, right? So if you flatten this array, you will get all the cells combined into a single array, and you will check. So none of them should be nil, that means all of them should be occupied. and we might need, and winners should be nil. That means there should be no winner, right? Let's write a winning combination. For winning combinations, what we will do is, what are the winning combinations, by the way? You have 0. What you can do is, is equal to board columns. Okay, so any matrix, if you take a transpose, rows will become column, and column will become rows, right? Okay. So what are the diagonal combinations? 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, right? And you have one more combination likewise. Plus, it is 2, 0, then 2, 1. Sorry, it is 1, 1. And what is the other one? 0, 2, right? So 0, 2 means it is 0th row and the second column, first row first column, and second row 0th column, right? So these are the possible diagonal winning combinations. So this will give us the rows, columns, diagonal combinations. Now what we can do is, winner combination each. So let's consider a case of rows. So in case of rows, there are 3 rows. Every row gives us its associated cells. So every row has 3 cells. Every cell we can check if this combination, so this will have 3 cells, right? Combination dot, what we can do is, you can check for 1, combination dot flatten dot. So if the unique length of this particular row is 1 and the total count is 3, that means it has 3 cells in it, and it has unique cell which has a length of 1. That means it can be either user 1 or user 2. That means it's a clear combination of a winner, right? So this is how you can do it. So this is applicable for rows, columns, and diagonal also, right? So if this is true, that means you need to break winner. What you can do is, you'll break out of this condition, return bold of. So if this combination is present, that means this combination flatten first. If this is true, that means we have found the winner. Since all the cells will have the same value, I am just picking the first cell in it, right? First cell basically points to the winner, right? So he is the winner. Return nil if combination is winner combination. many else right. So this will give you the winner, and this is the winning combinations. Now let's complete this code. Remove this from here. Now if all the cells are having valid values and there is no winner, that means it's a draw, right? Okay, now we are done with the okay, there is one more. So how to display the board? What you can do is this will give you each row, row dot join, right? So this will be display you the board. So this will give you the display board function. Basically we are just displaying every row and joining it with a hyphen so that it is easy to read that out, right? So as per our design, so we are done with the current player. We have added a board, display board is done, draw is written, winner is written, combinations are written. Okay, game over. So basically when is the game over? So game over if it's a draw or winner, that means game is over. Okay, now let's go over this once again. We have to write make a move. Okay, I think we have written make a move. We have written shift player. We have also written valid move to check. So basically valid move is when if the row is between 0 and 2, column is between 0 and 2, and that particular row column cell should be nil. That means it's not already occupied. Okay, now let's start writing the game class. Game. So let's have a play function. Let's have, so basically okay, current player, let's make in our initial classes I had showed you how to make getter and setter. In our case we just need a getter for the current player, so let's add that. Later if we need it we can access it. Now mode, let's take it as an input. Enter the mode. It can be either user versus user or user versus computer. I'm just writing it like this. It can be anything you wish for. So get as count to s. Okay, this is the mode. And what else do you need? Okay, until game, I forgot. So game is nothing but tic-tac-toe.new, right? So until game, okay, until the game is over you can continue. What you can do is if mode is between user versus user, else if it's user versus computer, what you can do is, so if it's a computer will make a move on its own, right? So let's add a self auto move making function, make auto move. This is by a computer. So basically what it will do is we have how many 3 rows and 3 columns, right? 2a dot. So let's generate a 3 cross 3 matrix. Okay, so this will give you, right? Okay, now is valid move row column. Yeah, so basically what I'm doing is I am taking every cell 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, likewise 2, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, and then if it's a valid move, if it's a valid move, I'm selecting all such columns which have a valid cell and just taking a sample out of it. Okay, now make a move. Yes, so I'm just assigning it. Now that I'm thinking, whenever we make a move, let's also shift the player. So we don't need to worry about which player it is, right? And yes, so when the mode is between this, if it's between users, you always need to ask the user to enter the input, right? Enter the row and column where you will place your bet. Row, column, split, just to make sure it's an integer, we are adding this. Now game make a move row column. So this will make sure it will make a move. Now since user is performing this operation, it's not a computer, we need to check if dot valid move okay. If it's not a valid one, we need to ask the user to re-enter the rows and column, correct? Because if it's not a valid one, then you will get invalid values, invalid outputs, and your program might not work properly, right? So let's add the appropriate message. Correct row and try again. Okay, now if the mode is user versus computer, if game dot current user, I'm just hard coding it. I'm considering you to be the first player, and if the first player is a user, we need to perform the operation, right? Else it's a computer, correct? If it's a computer, we already wrote that function, make auto move and shift the user, right? So exact function we need to paste here, and we need to also ask the user to, so we need to prompt the user. I will just go over once again what I did here. If the mode is user versus computer, and the turn of the if it's the turn of the user, not the computer, then we need to ask the user to enter the row and column, correct? Now once the user enters the row and column, we need to validate if it's a valid move or not. If it's a valid move, we will make a move and we will shift the player. Else we will ask the user to re-enter, right? If the turn is of computer, it will do the operation on its own. Now this program will run until the game is over, right? Otherwise it will exit. Now after every move, let's also do one more thing. Whenever we make a move, let's display the board, right? Yeah, I think that will take care of displaying the board to us. And once the game is over, it will come here. Let's add a function. If we have found a winner, if game dot draw, we will display game is a draw. Else we will display the winner, right? Let's once again go over our class what we have written. So what we did, we designed a class such that our class will have current player, it will have a board which is of 3 cross 3 cells, and we will display the board accordingly as and when a move is made so that you will know the current status. You need a function to know whether the game is over or not. If the game is over, you are not supposed to perform any moves. You also need a function to check whether it's a draw, the game got over because of a draw or because of a winner. So you will need a winner function also. For checking if it's a winner case or not, you need winning combinations. What are the winning combinations? One is row wise you need to check, other one is column wise you need to check, and otherwise the other one is diagonal wise you need to check, right? Okay, got it. Now board, like I already discussed, you need a 3 cross 3 board. So there will be 9 cells. You need a current player to track it is which turn. As and when a move is made, you need to shift the player. You also need a function which is make a move. So basically what will it do? If the move is valid, it will assign the current player into that cell and you will shift a player, right? And you also need a valid move check. So basically how will you validate a move? If that particular row and column is not out of range and if that particular cell is nil, that means it's not already occupied, right? Now you need a game class. So basically game class will have one is mode to know whether it's a user versus user game or it's a user versus computer game, right? Then you need a play function. What will this play function do? This keeps running until the game is over. The game can be over by a draw or by a winning scenario. So we have initialized the tic-tac-toe class with a board, current player, default we have assigned it a u. Make a move basically, okay, there is a mistake here, it's an 2D array, okay, and make a move will assign the current player, it will shift the player and it will also display the board, right? Now valid move basically performs a check whether row is between this, column is between this, and board cell is nil, it's not already occupied. How will you shift the player? You will check if the current player is u, then you will make it a v, otherwise if it's v, it's vice versa. Now next thing is winning combinations. So board will have 3 rows and board will have 3 columns. So when you do a transpose, columns will become rows, and you also need a diagonal check. One is this way from left corner to the right corner, likewise from the left bottom corner to the right top corner. So it is 0 0 0 1 1 and 2 2, likewise 2 0 1 1 and 0 2. So these are the probable combinations you might need to check. So I'm just iterating over every combinations. For each row you will check basically by flattening it, and you will check the unique value. If the unique value of it is 1 and the combination as a whole without doing an unique, if its count is 3, that means that particular row has a repeated winner in it. For example, if I am the player and computer is the second player, I would have written C C C in a row, or diagonally I would have written C C C. So by flattening it, if the total count I get is 3, but the unique length of that particular row is 1, that means we have found a winner combination. Then in that case we will break and we will assign the winner combination. Just to make sure we don't hit nil exception. Okay. So we can write this code in a better manner. We can make it a find, and find will always find the first occurrence. If we find that, it will exit, right? Find, okay, it's already a boolean check. So what I'm doing is Okay, if it's not nil, okay, perfect. So draw. So basically, when will we hit this draw functionality? So if the bold values, none of them are having nil cells and there is no winner case, that means it's a draw. When the game will be over, if it's either a draw or you have a winner. And display board, basically every row picks it up and then displays. That's it. Now in case of game, it takes the input from the user. You can enter the mode and accordingly the mode will be assigned. Now you will start the game. Until the game is over, it will keep performing this operation. Whenever we hit user versus user case, it will take the input from the user. It will check if the move is valid. It will make the move, shift the player, else it will ask you to re-enter. Once again, if it's between user versus computer, if it's the turn of the user, it will ask him to enter the correct row and column. If it's valid, it will make a move, else it will not. Now if the turn is of computer, it will move auto move. Now this will run until the game is over. Once the game is over, it will check. If it's a draw, it will write the same thing. If it's a winner scenario, it will display the winner. Now there is a slight scope for improvement of the duplicated code in here, this one and this one. First we will see if this code runs and then accordingly we'll do the modification to optimize, right? Okay, let's try executing this. Okay, it's not running because I have not instantiated game.new game.play, right? So let's run the code, enter the mode. Let's try the case of user versus user. Okay, the row and column where you will place your bet, let's choose 0, 0. Yes, right. Now it's the turn of the second user. Let's make him enter 0, first cell. Okay, perfect. Now I will choose a diagonal winning scenario. I will choose 1, 1. If you are not able to view the screen, okay. Okay, I entered. I think something is not right. Let's debug. So let's debug. What did we do wrong in here? Until the game is over, we took, let's add some logs. So best way to perform debugging is adding logs. Whenever we took an input, we are making a move. So let's add a case here. The entered row and column is column and user is game.current user. Okay, let's try to run user versus user 0, okay. Current user is not present. Current user or current player? Okay, perfect. I think I have used current player, so let's use current player, and that is the reason it's not working. I'm not sure. Have I used current user anywhere? No. Okay, let's rerun. User versus user 0, 0, then 0, 1, 1, 1. Okay, perfect. Probably when I increased the font, it had written this condition down below. Probably I guess it was working just fine. I thought it was not going to the next step. Okay, anyway, let's populate for the second user, first row, last column. Okay, now the winning scenario should be hit once I give second row and second column for my first user. Okay, it's not hit yet because there is a bug in our code. Let's try to debug. Just to make sure, if I enter second row, first column, after that if it hits, no, it's not even hitting. So let's stop this, add the logs. Why the game is not getting over? Okay, probably it's our winning combination. There might be a bug in here. Let's check. Combination is, why it is not hitting this condition? There might be a bug in here. Let's try to assess that. Before that, let's print winning combinations. Okay, let's rerun. User versus user, combination is nil. Okay, if you type like this, it's very difficult to debug. Instead, let's print it this way. Winning combination. Okay, now let's try to run the code once again. Clear this so that it's visible to you. Let's run. User versus user. Okay, winning combinations. It's not yet present. 0 0 1 1 2 2 2 0. Okay, something is not right. I need to check winning combinations. Board. Yes, so the board currently is like this, and that's why it is giving you that value. And, transpose. Perfect. Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, now. Okay. 0 comma 0. Okay, I think I got the reason. So here we are, instead of displaying board of, right, instead of displaying the board value here, board of 0 comma 0, board of 1 1, board of 2 2, likewise. Yes, I think this was the reason. Yeah, this happens when we try to add the code, when we try to be fast, quick. Sometimes these errors are bound to happen. I think that's all right. We have found out the root cause. I think now it might work. But before proceeding, let's check if we have not made any other syntax errors. Let's try to print this one last time, and let's try to execute and run. We will know. Okay, there is a problem with unexpected identifier in line 59. Okay, this is ending with this, and okay, this is ending with, okay, I have missed out. Okay, what about this? I think now it should work. Okay, let's try. Mode user versus user, 0 comma 0. Perfect. 0 comma 1 for my second user. Perfect. 0. Oh, now 1 comma 1 for my first user. I need to make a diagonal winning combination. You are seeing our board is, okay, where is my board? Yeah, board is like this. Now it's the second player's turn. I will give him 0 comma 2. How will the board look like? The board is looking like this now. Now the game should end when I give 2 comma 2. Yes, it's working. Perfect. Let's also now let's remove this because it's very difficult to read the output. It's even difficult for you guys to read the output. So let's remove all our logs which we have added. Apart from the scanner input, we will remove everything else so that it's easy to read. right? And also we had entered current user and things like that. We are going to remove that also. Okay, let's rerun. Once again, user versus user, 0, 0. Okay, why is it displaying the board like this? It's very ugly. What's wrong with this? Into the row, into the column. If it's a valid move, yes, make a move, shift the player, yes, display the board. Why are you displaying the board like this? It's not neat, it's very difficult to read. Where did the board go? Why are you displaying it like this? Stop. Let's try to rerun by debugging this. Where else I have given put as winning combinations, everything is removed. Okay, user versus user. Okay, 0 comma, my board is like this now. I will give him 0 comma 1. I will take 1 comma 1. I'll give him 0 comma 2. I will take 2 comma 2, and it will hit the scenario winner is you. I'm curious to even try the computer versus user scenario, but before that I am curious to know why it is printing these unwanted characters in between. Have I written current player somewhere? Is that the reason it is giving us this invalid characters in between? Shift the player, current player, where is the display function? Diagonals, am I using put as anywhere? Okay, here it is. In combinations I have removed. I think now it should be neat. User versus user. Yes, it is neat now. Okay, it's readable. Now 1 comma 1 my first user, second user. I want to hit. No, I want to create a draw scenario now. Let's take an example of second row first column. Okay, very nice. Now first row, no, sorry, it is first row first column, 0th row first column, right? 1 comma 0, 1 comma 0 for the second user. Very nice. Now I have to choose second row third column. Okay, now I am left with third row second column. Okay, the last row which is for the other user. Third row third column, enter the row. I think I have entered the wrong numbers. Winner is you. I was supposed to enter a different value, missed it out. Third row second, why did let's try to debug once again. Let's try to have a user versus computer scenario. I will choose 0 0. Okay, computer chose third row first column. Very nice. I will choose 1 comma 1. Oh, it already entered. It's very intelligent. Very intelligent, very intelligent. If I don't enter first row third column, it is going to win. Third row first column, so I will 0 0 1 1 2 2 2 and 0. Yes, otherwise it would have won the game. Very intelligent. Now it is my turn. If I give 0th row second column, I am the winner. Yeah. So guys, you just saw that the tic-tac-toe game is in a working condition now. Let's try to look at this repetitive code. I see the same code in two places. What shall we do? Let's try to extract this out into a method. So you can do this using check and make valid move, and we can do the same thing for this function also. And let's try to check if this code works at all. I'm hoping this is visible to you. If it's not visible also, it is fine. I will give you a public GitHub link for the same. I will push it to GitHub and then give you a public accessible link. Meanwhile, let's try to run this code. User versus user, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 2. Okay, it's an invalid. Enter, place your byte. Enter the correct one column. Yes, I am giving a value which is out of range. In my previous example also, I was not able to correct it. I'm so sorry. I am giving a value of 3 which is out of range, right? It has to be between 0, 1 and 2. So let's try to give 0 and 2. Now let's tackle the winning case. I will give 2 and 2. Yes, I am the winner. And the winner is you, first user. Instead of joining this with a hyphen, it is confusing us. As a result, we are not able to make progress. So it's very confusing, difficult to read, understand. Let's do it. By default, we are assigning it with nil. Let's make it none. And we are checking it for a nil instead. Let's check it for a none case because that's a validity check. In case of winning combinations, okay, unique length is 1 and flattening it, if you take the count as 3, that means it's a winner. And if we have the nil check anywhere else, yes, that condition is here. Okay, for a draw case. Now if you join it with hyphen, it's easy to read. But instead of hyphen, let's join it with okay, I think let it be that. It's difficult to read. Let's make it u instead of u and v. We'll make it user1, user2, else it's user1. Okay, and we had a hard-coded check in here. It's not a good practice basically. Instead of hard coding it, you can assign a constant and always use that constant in your class. So we can do one thing. Further, we can modularize this and make it, if it's a human user, and add a model method current player. Instead of hard coding the constants, it's always best if you have user defined model methods for the same. So at one place you can modify and you can use. Otherwise, if you have used u1 in 10 places, then you have to modify it at 10 places. So if you are using a single function and using this function at 10 places, it's easy to just modify this function alone, right? Okay, so this becomes easy now, and you can check if it's a human user inside play. Where is the function? If it's a human user, yes. So if it's a human user, check and make a valid move, else make auto move. This is for computer turn, and it will do the operation on its own. Now, is there any other optimization that we need to do apart from this? So we are checking for u1, and let's try to run this one last time. Enter the mode. I'm doing user versus user. Winner is none. Okay, there is a bug because I made certain modifications. It's okay, guys. It's very normal. While performing such type of quick operations, it's always normal. We can always debug and then fix the problem. Winner is none. That is because the game got over. It is a draw because flatten.none, none of them should be equal. So all of them are none, and the winner combinations unique length is 1, and okay, by default unique combination length is 1. When you flatten it, count is 3. and you should write combination dot first not equal to none, otherwise it will quit the program immediately, right? So 0 comma 0. Okay, first you need to choose user versus user. 0 comma 0, very nice. 0 comma 1, now 1 comma 1, 0 comma 2, now the winning case, right? 2 comma 2. Okay, there is a bug. That is because I have used this capital U elsewhere. This is what I was telling you guys earlier. So if you hard code certain constants and use it at multiple places, it is bound to cause a bug. So here it is. So let's define a constant user1 equals u1 and use it at all the places. Whenever you switch a user, you will assign user1, you will assign user2, else it is user1. Now let's define one more constant. So there is no hard coding involved and it will be easy to handle. Even none is used at multiple places. So let's define another constant. Nil cell equals nil, and you can use nil cell for none. None. Where else are we using none? This is 1. Where else are we using? Okay, let's try to run this code now. It looks a far neat, better code now. User versus user. 0 comma 0 is my first user. Yes, right, perfect. 0 comma 1 for the second user. 1 comma 1 for my first user. 0 comma 2 for my second user. 2 comma 2, it should hit the diagonal winning case. Yes, the winner is user 1. Okay guys, so this is how you can do a programming for small games or anything like that. As and when you get time, please keep practicing. The more you practice, the better you get at any programming language. It can be Ruby, Java, or any other programming language. And if you have any doubts, if you need any other program examples, please feel free to comment in my channel. Also, if you have not already subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel. Like, share, support, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you.